We can wake up way up here on this energy frequency and know ourselves as God in action, which is everything. And see, I can't even talk about this to you without making myself bigger and taller and more expanded and increased, right? And I saw a couple of you pull your shoulders back and get taller in your seat. The more of us is always seeking expression through us. And that is bigger than where we are in any given moment. The more is always bigger than where we are in any given moment. So being a person of increase can be as simple as acknowledging the truth of ourselves and really taking that in. And then we're starting from up here, with our energy up here, with our thought up here at the level of truth. It's vibrating at the level of what is true. That's a person of increase in the grand scheme of things. And then moving from that sacred place allows us to bring that holiness to every single moment, so that when we are in transactions throughout our day, which is every single second, even if we're alone for 3 hours, we're breathing. Maybe not as much as we could, but we're breathing, and that breathing is a transaction, isn't it? There's an intake, and there's an output. We're in a transaction with life as we breathe. We're in a transaction when we encounter another human being, and if we walk by and never look at the person, that's one level of transaction. But if we want to deliberately be a person of increase, it means acknowledging their humanity. When I'm walking my dog, it is never the case that he and another dog cross each other without some acknowledgement. Sometimes it's friendly, sometimes it's aggressive. But there will always be acknowledgement. There's never nothing. So why do humans, how is it that we can move in the world and just not even look at the other human? That is a luminous light being, and so are we. And we're just going to pass by and not say anything or look at them? Well, what if they don't say good morning to me? That was my excuse years ago. Well, it doesn't matter, does it? If they don't want to be a person of increase, that's not on me. I get to be a person of increase all on my own, okay? It also means bringing our love and attention. It can mean giving of our money. It can mean helping someone when we're at a choice as to stay home and watch TV or go help somebody, and we do that. It's stepping up to the more of who we are, being a person of increase. Now, what do you think happens when we want to see increase in our lives and we make an agreement to be a person of increase? What do you think happens? Immediately, what happens? Yeah, we become a way more attractive force in the universe. We're always attracting when we do it deliberately. Now, tiny things can be a person of increase, and big things. Gordon and Carolyn are here this morning. We haven't seen them in a while, and let me show you this great picture. Here's Gordon and Bill Clinton. Now, if you know Gordon well, never in a million years does this photograph make sense. Yeah, got his arm around a Democrat, a real powerful Democrat. Okay. This is in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy. Gordon knows how to be a person of increase. He got the call in his mind, in his heart. I want to do something. I want to make a difference. I want to send my love over the mountain, but I also want to take my body there and help people. So I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'm actually cutting my talk a little short today so that Gordon can share his experience, and he also wants to thank us because many people came forth with financial support for his journey. But knocking on doors of people who were just stranded, and it was like he was their savior. And this is a huge way to be a person of increase, answering the call. But that call also could be, I'm just going to pick up the phone and talk to a friend I haven't connected with in a few months. I'm the world's worst about that. If I really want to be a person of increase in that way, I could do that. It seems like a tiny thing, but it's about being more in this moment, being the person we see ourselves being in that life we're bringing forth. So who wants to bring something forth in 2013? Tell me something you're bringing forth. Just shout it out. New house. What is abundance? Money, more money, okay. Okay, anybody want more health, greater health, a higher expression of health? Okay, physical freedom, right. So start right now. Be that person. Here's beautiful Penny in her beautiful ombre Christmas sweater. How does a woman who is increasing her financial wealth walk and talk and move in the world and be with people? That's a transaction, and you're already in it. It's sacred and it's holy, and so are you. So you want to do that. You want to start that. Okay? So what are our opportunities to serve our intention and to serve the world? Now, somebody may have the idea about, what can I do to love and serve the people in Connecticut? Well, we can literally send our love and our joy and our peace and our power over the mountain. It's about being willing to stand in the truth of what we know. And really, for us as metaphysicians, it is incumbent upon us when the rest of the world is focused on all the horrible things that happen. It is our duty to humanity to stand in the truth, to be a person of increase and say, and there is more than this to know. Everything is holy. Everything, even in the pain, even in the loss, God is there. It can't go anywhere. Spirit cannot be anywhere else than everywhere. So we have to know. There is always good happening, regardless of the appearance, even when it appears to be horrific. And we contribute to that healing. We honestly contribute to the healing by knowing the truth and sending it. Deliberately send that intention out on a golden thread of love to Connecticut, to all those families, everybody's families. Does that make sense? Okay. So you'll get to see this photograph again in a little bit. All right, let's talk about the third part, and we'll make this one quick, nurturing our sacred intention. I have a picture of bamboo here because it's an interesting thing about Chinese bamboo, and Glenn loves this story. If you take really, really good care of a little bamboo plant, really good care, it will grow 2 inches in the first year. And if you take really, really, really good care of it in the second year, it grows 2 more inches. And in the third year, if you're dedicated and you take really, really, really good care of it, it grows 2 more inches. And in the fourth year, you know what happens? If you take really, really, really good care of it, it grows 2 more inches. Yeah. And in the fifth year, if you take really good care of it, it grows 80 feet. 80 feet. What if after 4.5 years you say, I'm done with this little plant. It's only growing 2 inches a year and I've dedicated my life to measuring the water. Okay, and you toss it out in the green bin. 6 months later, it would have grown 80 feet. We don't want to quit. We want to persevere. And it's not that it has to be hard or the journey is arduous or anything like that. We want to stay dedicated and we want to stay devoted. We want to nurture our sacred intention. And so we keep on keeping on. What does that mean, to keep on keeping on in a sacred way? Well, regarding everything as holy helps us do that because it makes the journey easier. This is what it looks like while it's coming to fruition. This is what the 80-foot high bamboo looks like in year 4 as it's growing. Okay? It's 6.5, 7, 8 inches. This is what it looks like in the process. Wherever we are, this is what it looks like in the process. And we do well not to abandon it and start something else over again, but stay with it. And if being in it and understanding that this really is truly ours to do and be and have, if that increases our passion and it gives us life, then we know we're on the right track. So if you do start something tomorrow, or you have some ideas that you're going to start in January, give them a chance. Don't quit in February or March or even June. Give them a chance. Nurture those sacred intentions. There's a wonderful story about a man who decided he was going to climb to the top of an icy peak. And he had attempted it before and almost made it, but this time he was determined. No matter what, he was going to get to the top. And it probably looked something like this. And it was a challenge, and he met with many obstacles, but he got through and he got through and he got through. And he was very, very close to the top, very close. And then one night he set up camp, and he knew he would reach it in the morning. Well, in the night, there was a major storm. In fact, there was an avalanche, and that avalanche came tumbling down on top of everything, and it destroyed his camp. And so when he woke up in the morning and everything was lost, he said, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to pack up what little bit is left, and I'm going home. And that's what he did. But he didn't know what we know, which is this is what it looks like while it's coming true. What he didn't know is in that avalanche, that a huge portion of the top of the mountain tumbled down to the bottom. And so the top was now way lower. And he thought he would reach it that day after climbing all day. He would have reached it in 2 hours. But he went home. So sometimes the universe gives us what looks like an avalanche that knocks us off our feet, that takes everything with it in the process. But you know what? Sometimes that's what needs to happen to bring our demonstration that much closer. If he had gone forward, if he had continued nurturing that, in 2 hours, he would have reached his lifelong dream of being at the top, because the top was down here now. When we engage, when we set our intention, and we take the steps and we nurture that intention, the universe is doing it with us and from this direction, and it collapses somewhere in the middle. It happens faster. So if you have something that looks like a storm or an avalanche, just remember everything is holy. Every person, every voice, every opinion, every place, every opportunity, every task, and every moment is holy. And we are holy in it because we are made of divine stuff. We're going to do something a little bit different this morning. I'm going to show you a video because this is such a beautiful thing, and I wanted to share it with you. And we're a little low-tech in the process, but I want you to see it. It's about 4.5 minutes. So please enjoy. Everything is holy now.
When I was a boy each week, on Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. And when I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad. Miracles don't happen still. Now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, better magic trick said anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause 'cause everything is holy now. Child's face, say it's not a testament. That'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come, say it's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, I saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush and singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverend air, 'cause everything is holy now.
Everything is holy now. This is the truth, and it is absolutely wonderful, and so are you, and so it is in this way.